Hi guys. Hey Megan.
Hey, Alan.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Very good. So I guess we'll wait until we can grab a mass of people, and then we'll start from there. But um, so I'll repeat this later. But basically, I have our school started this week, and I went to the provost's office and talked with them, and they set up a meeting with the provost. I went to the president's office, but he's not here this week, so they directed me to the provost, and basically have a meeting for tomorrow morning, and of course our deadline's on Sunday. So the goal now is to try and figure out, all right, we're going to walk in, and how do we manage to convince this man that we need to do something similar to UI Fresh, or like let's execute a UI Fresh on campus. And um, uh, I know that our school, at least, is already working on creating initiatives on campus, at least from a faculty level, to try and have uh, innovation entrepreneurial kind of classes towards students. Those aren't revealed yet, and there isn't too much detail about them. And the UI Fresh program, when you guys presented it, made complete sense because it's like, well, instead of working so hard to create little initiatives around campus to try and generate this type of mentality, if we could just expose it to all incoming students, then that's the most impact for the amount of effort put in. And so therefore, I think it would be really cool if we were able to get this done.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Do you know how many first-year students you guys have?
We have roughly 200 per section.
Yeah.
So for us then, at about 200, yeah, I mean, it would take, it's not a big class, but 200, if we can create like an orientation event or something for them that would get them in this mentality, it would be really beneficial, because we have a distinct challenge at Kettering where everyone goes through co-op, and therefore the mentality around campus is, as long as I got co-op, then I'll graduate and I'll have a job and life will be great. So as a result, people at school go through the motions of, well, I just got to get good grades, or to be honest, for a lot of co-ops, if I have a 3-point, then I'm in good shape. And then the other thing is, a lot of them, when they join clubs, they go through the motions. So we have, for example, our student government. They go through the motions of, I got to be president, etc., because therefore it just boosts my resume, which helps me get the better job. And as a result, no one really tries to work really hard on campus when it comes to change or things like that, because after about 4 or 5 years, you graduate and you never have to deal with it again. And in addition, the school is so small in size that if you wanted to, for example, take command of student government, then you just have to be popular enough to garner the 40, 50 votes total required to win the election. So it's not that hard.
Yeah.
But as a result, we have this really, really, I guess, challenging environment for us, and so therefore, UI Fresh would be really cool.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, like we had 1,300 students, so we're still small scale compared to like the really big colleges.
Right. But is it 1,300 incoming class?
Yeah, that was the incoming class size.
Okay. Because so that's a huge amount compared to us. Like if 1,300, that's all.
6.5 times more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But I guess like the smaller that we are, we should use that as our advantage point.
Like, and it's really convenient because that means if we created a program on campus, then we would be able to tailor it more to, let's say, the specific class. Or instead of having like an entire gymnasium full of them, of different, I guess, events, we would be able to create something similar to, let's say, the annual meetup, where we might be able to get, I guess, a smaller class size per event, which would be really helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're still at 3. 4.
Yeah, 4.
4, so just joined.
So I think this will be really cool. Yeah.
There we go.
Well, actually 5 technically.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's up, guys?
sweet. Now it's 1, 2, 3. Katie's here too.
Yeah. Hell yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of us.
Perfect. 7. Better than 2.
That is dope.
I love it. So,
What did we walk in on? What conversation are we interrupting?
we're more or less talking about, I guess, I was giving background on our school to Megan, and more or less talking about like what challenge we have to face for tomorrow. So basically, our school started this week on Monday, and as a result, the deadline for the UI Fresh is Sunday. And hi, Katie. Okay, I'll restart again. So basically, our school started this week, and therefore UI Fresh is due on Sunday. And so I managed to get a meeting set up with the provost tomorrow at 11 a.m. And basically, this is the only shot I have to speak to him. And so therefore, now the goal is if I want UI Fresh to work, as in if I want to get that commitment letter in by Sunday, then I need this man I basically got to walk in tomorrow and then convince this man to sign the sheet of paper by the time I leave. And so right now, the purpose of the Blue Jeans is to create, well, at least gather ideas, we'll brainstorm, etc., like battle strategies. So when I go in, kind of like the Professor Smith, where we have like we're able to talk to him and kind of bring the point across, and then have him basically commit. So this is kind of different from Professor Smith. First of all, I was a fab, so I didn't actually I was the professor, so basically I didn't get the opportunity to try and woo somebody to agree with me. But then the other thing is from the Professor Smith example that we had at the annual meetup, at the end, a lot of the groups ended up, their goal was to get a second meeting, right? And in this case, this is a situation where I probably don't want to get a second meeting because there's not enough time. So I need to get him to not only think about it, but agree and then commit by the end of the 1 hour block. And so this is
I hear you.
So and then Katie's here, which is awesome because she's, I know that Katie's hosted UI Fresh meetings, like I believe once a month for the last couple, for quite some time now. So maybe we can possibly brainstorm ideas as to how we can go about attacking this. And then what would be neat is like whatever we figure out at the end, we can kind of, help out other fellows in doing the same, hopefully with a little bit longer deadline than what we have.
A few days.
So.
When you were able to score a meeting, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Maybe. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, so when you were able to score a meeting with the provost, did you tell him that, did you give him like a tidbit about UI Fresh and like what you were going to talk about?
I told his secretary, actually when I walked into the provost's office, I first went to the president's office and learned that the president wasn't there for the week. So then I got directed to the provost's office. I went there, the provost was actually leaving for the day, and I wanted to give him like a 30-second kind of synopsis, but he's like, no, we'll just talk during the meeting. And so I told his secretary about it, and then I also shot him an email today with a general kind of overview as to what UI Fresh is about. So to be completely honest, I don't think the provost really knows that much, assuming that he even looks at the email at all. So I was thinking, one might be I could have the provost look at the Ignite videos on UI Fresh to kind of give a jump start for tomorrow's meeting. And then I guess that would be the start to it. But I would like to assume that when I walk in, he's absolutely blind to what we're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss how much time you have with him tomorrow?
I have an hour from 11 to 12.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
I would also maybe suggest.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I would also suggest, like, for part of it, if he knows absolutely nothing about it, one thing that could potentially help like his view of it is if you tell him about some of the larger and well-known schools that have also signed up for it, so he knows that this is a very like national thing that a lot of very important schools are also doing. So it's not just this random thing to him.
Well, how about this? Why don't I share you guys with the email that I sent to him? It was pretty rough, and I had to send it pretty fast, but I can show it to you guys real quick.
That'd be great. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, off what he was saying, Michigan schools tend to be competitive with Michigan schools. So mentioning the schools from Michigan, especially that are doing UI Fresh, will definitely be like, oh, it's another Michigan school. So just a thought.
That would work. Because Kettering likes to really, I guess, compete, which is kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully the provost will do something. Okay, let me pull up, where's the email? I swear I sent it. If I didn't send it, then that would make me really sad.
So my other question to you is he aware of all the work that you've been doing on campus already, like the open lab days or any of that?
He might, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Our president does know. The provost is new. So he came in about half a year ago. And so he was there.
Mm-hmm.
He was a provost since he had the open lab days, but whether or not he knows completely about it, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just think like maybe it would help you build sort of credibility towards this initiative so that you don't just seem like you're just this one-off student that's trying to start this national thing, where if you're like, these are the people that have been behind me, the president, et cetera, and these are the students that have helped me, and this is what we've done like through this fellows program, and then launch into like, you know, this is like your next big project that you want to see Kettering get involved in.
Okay. That would make sense, yeah.
That's what worked for us.
I love Mo's notes. He said, it states, I am not Mr. Nobody.
Nice. Exactly. You're not Mr. Nobody. Asya, you were saying that worked for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so just because all the people we went to, if they didn't know about first we went to the people that did know about everything we've been doing. They were fully supportive without even reading the letter. They were willing to sign it. And then the people that we had more struggles with, we definitely, telling them about everything that we've been doing on campus definitely helped, because then they're definitely more willing to trust you on this random letter that you want them to sign. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so we got a lot of signatures, but it was only because people know about the things that we've been working on campus.
Okay, fair enough. So kind of like, what do you call it? If you've heard a TED Talk about building brand credibility, it's kind of like how Starbucks, when you walk in, they talk about where their beans were roasted and things like that. Yeah. So kind of create a similar approach when we walk in tomorrow and explain what we've done beforehand. So this is the email, if you guys can read it. It's fairly, I guess, straightforward as to saying, you know, here are the links to UI Fresh. I'm one of 6 fellows. I guess I didn't talk about my previous work that I've done at Kettering, but it gave a general kind of short notice to what UI Fresh is about. And then it also stated the April 10th deadline, which I wanted to at least make him aware of before I shot it. Basically gave him the shock tomorrow to say that, hey, we need this signed as soon as possible. And then I know that then the other thing was I stated that we're not actually saying that we're going to present a program by April 10th, but more or less it's a commitment, and then we'll spend the next 3 to 6 months planning to execute it. Because I guess the other thing for Kettering is we're on a quarter system, so we won't be executing this in August with most schools. So for us then, freshman orientation is either in July or it's in
October.
October. So we technically have an earlier deadline or a later deadline, depending on which one we pick.
Right. Mm-hmm. Can you guys see the email?
Yes. That's awesome. It's short and sweet. My comment is that just be careful in stating that 20 schools who joined were invited to the White House, because they were like, we got highlighted on the White House fact sheet in accordance with the White House Science Fair last year. They weren't actually invited to attend, because the White House Science Fair is actually K through 12. And it's really hard to get actual invitations, but there is that announcement, and it's going to happen again this year on the 13th. And so if you are saying, I know this has to happen relatively quickly, considering this weekend, and you mentioned that like April 13th is the 6th annual White House Science Fair, and on that day at like 9 a.m., that fact sheet is going to go live, and you guys want to be on it.
Okay.
And so I think that'll give him that sense of urgency, because it'll be, it's a paragraph. It's probably like 8 to 10 sentences about what UI Fresh is and the purpose and the goal. And then it links to our press release, which lists out every single campus that signs on, and the letter that everybody, like a PDF of the letter that everybody signed. And so it highlights everybody in that way.
Okay, perfect. So I will talk to them. I'll clarify tomorrow about it. So this might actually be cool, because the way I worded it, technically, the 20 schools saying that might catch his attention more, and then might be able to like word it differently tomorrow, where it would sound as inviting, but not.
Highlight on is that you do get recognition from the White House, which, I mean, everybody we talk to loves that. Like, even though it's not, President Obama saying the Colorado School of Mines, still getting recognition is awesome, and it's definitely worth it on a piece of paper to get your school recognized by, the White House.
Okay, that would be great.
I could also.
Oh. We may or may not have lost them.
Hey,
they're back. Hey, you might have to repeat yourself.
Can you repeat yourself?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so it may put him at ease slightly, just like to go in and say, hey, this probably won't take the whole hour. Like, this will probably only take a half hour. Because generally, like, with a whole hour block, you're going in, he's not really sure what you're there about. He's not sure what what you're going to ask him, what you're going to say. And if you go in, you're like, hey, this won't take the whole time. Like, this is a pretty chill thing. It's pretty cool. I'm excited about it. But yeah, I'll be in and out of here in like 20, 30 minutes. They're like, all right, let's do it. So that may be helpful.
Yeah.
Given that he signs the letter 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, that would be cool, honestly, if it was really short and sweet. Because I guess right now, on our landscape canvas, the new class of fellows learned that one of the classes at Kettering, one of our industrial manufacturing engineering classes, which is taught to freshman students, is actually being revamped at the moment to try and teach more of the I&E mindset and design thinking mindset. So I just learned of that today, actually, when I was calling a couple fellows. And so it seems like the school is already working towards initiatives to try and generate an overall kind of idea towards it. And then more or less another thought would be to talk about that tomorrow and see if we can create something that's that would kind of branch off that. Maybe that would be more of like an intermediate kind of step to get them on board.
What I would say is like, so once you're gonna walk in, knowing the provost and knowing the Kettering's administration, as soon as you start talking, he'll have his mind made in the first 5 minutes, whether he will support it or not. So make sure you use the buzzwords that go around campus. that they're pushing for right now. Innovation and entrepreneurship mindset. Yeah. T-Space, they spend a lot of money in, and they're worried that nobody's using it.
Right.
And so we gotta use those little things because that's our entire goal overall, right? That's our big picture goal. And
yeah, that is a big picture. Yeah, you could talk.
Another thing that works for us is we're already doing a lot of these programs on campus that are towards freshmen. Like we're already doing workshops and competitions and stuff. So some of the stuff that would include you, like UF Fresh would include, we're already doing here on campus. So we mention that and we say, you know, like we're already doing all this stuff. We want to keep doing all this stuff. We want people to know about the stuff we're doing. We want people to support the stuff we're doing, which is why we want recognition for it. So I mean, if your campus is already promoting all that, you can say something like, we're already like on the path to get it done. Now, why not get recognition for being a school that is promoting stuff like this for their freshmen and wanting to push STEM and IE?
Yeah.
Hey,
that's a really good point. Like, do you know, I mean, you know, because you went through it, like what your freshman experience is and what Kettering does for incoming students?
Right.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point to use all that as leverage.
That's definitely, yeah, no, definitely. I want to talk about that.
Just using the other one.
Oh, control shift. Working out. Okay.
I'm also going to put in the chat box, Tala from Berea College emailed me today and asked me to look at this letter. It's a totally working document, so don't be like too judgmental. And I wasn't going to share it until after he looked at the edits I was making, but I want to point out that he put together, like he organized it in a way that said like, hey, this is what I'm contacting you for. This is why we want to do it at Berea. And then he boiled it down to why UI Fresh, like why is it important, the how, and then what his president could do to get involved. And so I think that it might help you like arc the story of why it belongs at Kettering. Are you still there? You disappeared.
You kept cutting up.
Well, what had happened is your voice went to like a 0.25 speed, and then, but there wasn't a loss of words actually. It was more or less like the last second were combined about 20 seconds worth of talk in about a second, and so you zipped. It was basically really, really slow, and then it zipped all of it together. So yeah, you have to repeat yourself.
Okay.
Moral of the story.
Moral of the story is that this is a letter that Tala Ram is writing to the president at Berea, and it's totally a working document right now, but it pulls out the why, the how, and the what they want the president to do to get involved and help this initiative. So that might help you like sort of boil it down into what you want to talk about, to think about like the most important things to Kettering.
Okay.
It's just another example to pull from that somebody else is doing.
I would say another thing with signatures, I don't know if you only want the provost signature, but we tried to get the provost, the president, the vice president, like all the deans as much as possible. And they're very, all the higher ups are very like peer pressured into doing things. So basically our president didn't know what he was signing, except for the fact that from down the line, they were like, oh yeah, you should sign this. Oh yeah, you should sign this. We heard it was a good thing. Like, don't worry, just sign it. And like, it all came from the dean of the honors college, because the UIFs are housed within the honors college, and she was on board, and so she just like basically was like, yeah, you should definitely sign this, and it just kept signing up and up and up because it was all peer pressure. So
what I told the provost secretary was like, when I explained the overall program to her, I was saying if I could get the provost's signature, then I would be able to use that as potential leverage to get other people to sign it as well. So that would be really cool. If I could get his signature, then I'd probably spend what's my class schedule like on Thursday, Friday? Yeah, I've got about a 2-hour block on Friday, so I could probably just run around to every department and try and get people to sign.
Yeah, director of marketing and everywhere.
That's basically what happened here. Like, we got the main signature, and then our other fellow Josh, he literally just ran around campus. We had sent them emails saying we were coming, but he just ran from office to office to get signatures for it. It was kind of chaotic. We were hunting people down.
So I guess the other question for that is when you got your signature, because I looked at a lot of the signature pages, and a lot of them had the signature line beneath each name, and then it had the person's name typed out beneath it. I'm not sure if yours did that. I did that, but I guess how would you do that? Where if you just ran around and grabbed a bunch of signatures, do you just end up going through Word and then just scanning it in and then printing their name beneath their signature and then reprinting that out? I guess I'm making that more complicated than it needs to be, but I was just curious.
Yeah, we created.
Yeah, no. So like if if you go through and get a bunch of pictures from a bunch of different people and things, you're just gonna want to scan it in and then use that to get it. Also, if there are people who want to sign it but they're not there, you can always like just have them sign something up, like scan that and then email their signature to you, as long as they know what they're signing. And then you can put that onto it also. Like you said your president was gone. So like if you could get him to be approving of signing it, then you would just want him to sign it online or sign it and then, scan it and email it to you so that you could have his signature on there too.
Okay.
Also with that, you could send the PDF of like what they would be signing. And a lot of them have like the signature within their like PDF editors, like Adobe. So they can just sign it that way and then send the file back to you. So that's what we did for a couple of ours.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So do you have an idea of like what you want to say to him tomorrow?
So
or like how you want to
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a very good question. So I was right now. Well, there's a lot of input that I got to digest in a bit. But it seems like if I talked about the actually, yeah, let's figure out a pretty good. There's a lot of ideas at this moment. So obviously, there's I want to talk about how other schools have utilized such a program and leverage the idea of having Michigan compete against each other. So have Kettering go against Michigan Tech. Then I guess be a little bit selfish and talk about myself. But then also I wanted to show. What's that?
With the self-vision. So go in there and you like tell them who you are and like everything that you guys like build the trust first.
And like
and then like let them know about the program obviously and then do the competition. Competing
the people who are supporting you and the different things you've done and like look at all these people I have behind me. Now here's why.
Like the stuff that Katie said.
Yeah.
So one, build the trust. And then
So one, let them know who you are, what you've been up to, and who's behind you already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's behind? So that's first. Yep. And then second, build a rivalry or what?
No, then the thought was to explain the program.
Then let them know like what UI Fresh is. Yeah.
Explain what UI Fresh is. And then afterwards, explain what Michigan Tech and the other universities have done.
And then how he can help support you.
And then also, like the fact that you guys are already doing a lot of this stuff on campus and that you want to make sure that the school gets recognized for what it is doing and what it could be doing in the future.
Okay. So recognized for existing programs for the stuff it's already.
Hey, Alan, it's Corey.
Hi, Corey.
Hey, you got a wingman on this one, or are you flying solo?
I'm flying solo.
For tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm the only fellow on campus, apparently.
Yeah, okay. Well, what about, like, professors, or do you have any other allies that you might be
I
able to
called,
call on, or at the minimum, maybe name drop. I don't know.
Corey, what you don't see is there's like a supportive friend sitting next to Alan right now. So I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you where you're going to be tomorrow.
Muhammad, I'll be at work, so
Yep.
yeah,
Actually, he's on his co-op work term.
right.
So I actually called him at the appropriate time where he was on campus, and I basically, it's actually a pretty funny conversation. I basically said, "Where are you? Come
was
to this
really short.
location."
It was really
Yeah, it was
short.
about 10 seconds long. He said, "Where are you? Are you available? Come here now."
Come to D-Space too. Yeah.
So he won't be here, and then the Hunter is on campus, but I'm not sure if he's available tomorrow. He said he'd be available the hour before I went to the provost to sign his name. Basically, I called up all the fellows to get their existing signature onto the document before I brought it in tomorrow.
Right.
So yeah, I believe I'm playing solo right now. I did call 2 professors. One is the head of the Innovation Entrepreneur movement on campus, and the other one is like basically, I mean, he's
Pat?
No, I called Tab,
Okay.
and then I also called Torfay.
Torfay.
And Torfay is the one who's modifying the class, and both of them went to voicemail. So hopefully, if they contact me tomorrow morning, I can try and have them come over as well.
You already have all the fellows signed it already?
Right now, I'm waiting for a couple more signatures through email, and then I'll be compiling it onto our list. And I already have the university letterhead is what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I managed to swipe that from a previous project that I did. So apparently our university letterhead is only supposed to be attached to anything by our president's office. And so for a previous project that I did, I got the permission from the president to use his letterhead, and then one of the administrative staff gave me a copy of the letterhead afterwards, so I still have it. So I'm pretty ready to go from that standpoint.
Oh, we're ready.
We're so ready.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that'll. So just to go over it, I know Megan just left, but so to start off, build the trust, talk about existing programs on campus, and then explain the program. So explain what UI Fresh is, and then explain what other universities have done, including Michigan Tech. I guess my question would be, do you think at that point it would be worthwhile to throw the Michigan Tech Ignite talk in there? It's about 4 minutes long. But if I'm explaining Michigan Tech and the other universities, do you think when you guys converse with your administrative staff that they would have the time or patience to watch a 4-minute YouTube video? I guess that would be something I'd judge tomorrow when I speak.
Yeah, that's what. So I was totally thinking that, depending on the mood.
Right.
Like if he's like really pumped up, he's like really like you're like, hey, let's watch this video. Michigan Tech just did this, and this is what it is, and it'll give you a better idea.
Okay.
But I want to hear what you guys did. You guys do any of that? Katie and.
I think that sort of takes away from the excitement, having to like take a second out of the conversation to watch a video. So I would try and avoid it as much as you can. But you can get excited about it, like, oh my gosh, like something we use is DU, Denver University, here on campus, here in Colorado, is doing a lot of really cool new things towards innovation entrepreneurship, and we sort of use that as leverage as like, he's doing all these cool things, it's so exciting, blah, 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 why can't we be there? Like, we need to be there. Minds needs to be there to compete, which Corey's going to laugh because he's the one that told us about all this. But, so stuff like that, like you can get excited about what someone else is doing and talk about how you can implement it on your campus and how your campus is just as good. But I think like taking a second out of the conversation to watch a video would weaken the conversation, if that makes sense. But that's just me.
Unless it feels like it just really fits into what's going on and like the whole tone and mood of things, or he seems like really curious about it or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. So actually, explain the. So then, in that case, the other thing is explaining the program. What is UI Fresh? I think in order to build, I guess, the background, would it be advantageous to explain the UIF program before we jump into UI Fresh? So it's kind of like the layering.
That kind of goes into explaining who you are and what you've done.
Yeah.
Because you don't start with like, hey, here's my name. I don't. Well, obviously start with your name, but like talk about how you're a fellow and stuff you do with the program, and like getting to be a part of a really cool national organization and all the cool things you get to see and do.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you have experience. Bye.
Yeah. Should have shown him the 4-minute video.
Those are our sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I would also say that like the resources that you're referring to, like the Ignite talks and stuff, if he doesn't sign it like on the spot in the room with you tomorrow, you can use that as like a follow-up message to say like, it was great talking to you today. If you want more information, here's X, Y, and Z. And then he can like take it in on his own time. Or she.
Okay.
It's a he.
He.
Control shift. That makes sense. Okay. I will. Cool. I will go and create like I guess a PowerPoint or like a Prezi or something. Because I would assume that, pictures speak 1,000 words, right? So if I brought something like that in, now he's shaking his head. All right, what do you got to say?
Don't do like I guess pictures are fine if you want to show him, but I think a PowerPoint also takes away from like the personal relationship that you build with someone and have like a conversation.
A PowerPoint with pictures.
Yeah,
like,
if it's just pictures, that's fine. If you want to be like, hey, look at like here's the things that we got to do here, like here's the things, pictures of the events that we. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like if you roll it with a PowerPoint, it screams like, I'm here to do a pitch. I'm here to ask for something from you. Like I really have to like, right? So you pull out your pitch deck, and all of a sudden he's on the defensive. He's like, all right, I'm a judge. I have to decide if this is worth. Instead of just like, hey, look, this is the thing we're doing. I just need your signature, so the White House like puts our name in the book because we should be there. You know what I mean? Like the air is very different. So I would really not do any kind of power, like just chat,
pictures are. I mean, if you want to show him like here's
pictures
some cool
and
things,
stuff. Yeah.
But I would stay away from a PowerPoint.
Don't have it feel like a presentation.
It's a conversation.
Yes.
What if you, Asya and you guys, what if you just had the letter handy, if and when it felt right to put it in front of him? I mean, did you guys use?
We didn't do. I mean, every person I went to, I had a conversation with them, and I let them know. Hi. Well, first I sent them an email to like let them know I was coming, but it was like a conversation. Hi, here's who I am. Here's what we do. Here's everything we've already been doing. By the way, here's what we want to keep doing. Here's how you can help, and we can get recognition from the White House. And I just conveniently have the letter right here when you're ready to sign. And every single person that we went, like we printed everyone's names out. So if someone didn't sign, that was going to look really bad, but everybody did.
Makes sense.
That's a good piece of what Megan was talking about, peer pressure, of like, if you know who it is you want to hit and you want to sign this letter because you think they're going to be really important, if they're like already on it and you have like a few signatures and they're like, oh, I'm not going to do it, like that, there's like that internal peer pressure of like, am I going to be the only one that doesn't sign this thing?
Ooh, that'll be
Definitely
cool.
works.
Yeah, that's a good
On the
one.
signature, I got like a last minute meeting with someone because I ran in and I said, you're my last signature. And he was like, oh, shoot, I don't want to.
Right.
All right, let's create this document. All right, so. Fair enough. In that case, I'll bring a couple photos. And Okay. I think I have a general idea as to what I'll be doing.
Yeah.
And let him know that he's not like being pigeonholed into like giving you control of the school, because I know like a lot of when students go to professors and provosts and deans with stuff like that, like that's the feeling they get. But let him know, like, we're already doing this stuff. Why not get recognition? The only reason we need your signature is for the White House to approve it. Like, it's not like you're taking like, it doesn't give you ultimate control of the school.
Right. This is
That
just,
makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's very important. Yep.
So make it like a chat and make sure you can convey that tune. No, finding it keys to school. It's just
The keys to school would be pretty cool, though. I'm not gonna lie. I can do so much stuff with that key. Dude, that key is like infinite power right there.
Dude, you can change the school.
Right? Keys to the school.
We create a soccer team, football team, everything.
We create a football team.
Or like a chat. Hey.
That'd be pretty cool if we create a football team.
And
I would like a football team.
Do you not have a football team or a soccer team?
No,
We don't have
school is
any,
really
yeah.
tiny, so we don't have any division sports, period. But it's really convenient, though, because our school was founded in 1919. There's a T-shirt that runs around that says Kettering football undefeated since 1919.
Yeah. It's close to like 90 something years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty good.
95 years, 96, yeah.
How many students?
How many people do you have there?
We have a total of about 1,900 kids, and it's actually split between two sections since we're on a quarter system. So basically half of that is on campus at any given time. And it creates a really unique environment for us because these students, unless they trade sections, never see each other.
Right.
So
You got two set of students.
right. The only time these two sets of students come to see each other is for graduation, which makes it really, I heard, awkward because you don't know half of the people in the room,
Right. I'm sure.
but you know the other half. But yeah, it's a quarter system school and it's very small, and therefore we're thinking that if we were able to create such a program where we were able to take teach the freshman class the INE mindset, then it would take a lot of the programs that we're currently doing, where those only affect a really small population of campus, like those who decide if they want to attend the event.
It's a way more of a commitment to do that, yeah.
Right, and it's basically, at least the way we were thinking, is it's a way to bridge all of these programs together under one roof and try and make the biggest impact in the shortest amount of time. Because we have a really unique challenge at Kettering where it's a co-op school. So all of our students have a co-op, and therefore brings in a really unique mentality where a lot of them know, for example, their co-ops only require, let's say, a 3.0 GPA in order to get a job at the end, or 2.7, or 3.5, or whatever. And therefore, a lot of them just gun for that grade, and then they already know, because they co-op each term, that they're already going to get a job afterwards. And so therefore, a lot of them go through the motions while at campus. So they might be, for example, part of a club, but they're not going, there aren't many students who would go above and beyond to try and, let's say, make a change or take initiative on campus, because they know when they graduate, they're already kind of set for for their job and their future career. So therefore, the thought would be, well, if we were able to change this mentality, then it would make a pretty big culture change at Kettering.
That's the goal.
That's awesome. That's kind of incredible to hear stuff like that. Changing like the culture of your school is incredibly difficult, and that's kind of what we're working on here. And it's not nearly to the extent that you are, because we don't deal with the whole co-op issue. But I mean, that's awesome that you're doing that, and I think that's even more like what you just said there. That's even more reason why your provost should sign this thing, because like you are one of very few students that are trying to push this idea that the school is in support of. So like maybe talk about that too a little bit. Like you understand that this exists and you want to benefit that and help that, fix that, do that. Yeah.
Cool. Sweet.
We'll give you the
That'd be
lead.
sweet.
Yeah.
What's that?
We'll give you the head start.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. Well, Ellen, I think that you are gonna rock it tomorrow with the provost. So don't be nervous. You just got like an awesome pep talk
I know,
from
that's
all of
fun.
us, and you're like well equipped now with all the information that you have to go in with.
Sounds great.
Believe.
Many thanks. Really appreciate it. Well,
Yeah. And now, like, don't leave us hanging tomorrow. Let us know how it goes, right?
yeah, it'll be on Facebook. So either
Okay.
I'll use plenty of emojis and things like that. Smiley face,
Okay.
sad face, crying face to express how I feel. So
Cool.
Well,
You can take the link or whatever. But Nick has also been taking very detailed notes on his laptop over here. So we'll post the link to that as well.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank
And then,
you.
Katie, did you get your coffee sign?
What's that?
No, so I'm not at home right now. It texted me that it arrived, but I'm in St. Louis still.
Gotcha.
So I'll find out Friday when I get home. I'm hoping it's on my table.
Okay. We'll post the link to the notes.
Okay, perfect. And I'll post the link to this recording for everybody that couldn't make it, or if you need to go back and look at it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
Awesome. Good luck.
All right, thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Comments on Facebook.
They are?
So you know how like Humera made that post?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So we'll post the link to the notes in the comments.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Dope.
Sweet.
That'd be great.
Bye guys. Good luck.
Bye.
Take care.